UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. I think it's the coming Great Deception. What do you think? We're going to delve into this, I should say. But first, a word from our very trusted sponsor. The rules of money are being rewritten right in front of our eyes. The institutions that control the financial system aren't waiting, warning, or wishing. They are acting. Buying gold and silver at an unprecedented pace. They're preparing for something. The question is, are you? For nearly a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of people protect their wealth with physical gold and silver. As the world shifts to hard assets, the window to act is closing. Let Noble Gold show you how simple it is to protect yourself and your family. While everyone else is reacting to the news, Noble Gold clients are positioned. They understand that when the rules change, you need assets that don't depend on the system. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com, and download your free wealth protection kit. Once again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. The rules are changing. Make sure you're ready. Thanks for coming here, folks. Really appreciate it. Consider becoming a member. We do one show a week that's designed just for members. And it's not an extended interview. It's something specifically designed just for members, something that the general public has not yet seen. So you're way ahead. I've got hours and hours and hours of footage which no one has seen. And that's what we're doing with this. And sometimes I'll just come on the record and do 15 or 20 minutes, again, just for members only. So consider becoming a member. We thank you for that ahead of time. Also, you can go to the website, lamarzulli.com, roadtodisclosure.com, deception2026.com. We have 10 speakers that came on the record for $19.99. You can watch all 10 speakers. So it's a virtual conference. Thank you for coming. The ones that signed up, thank you so much for doing it. I want to thank our webmaster, Shanti Green, hit it out of the park, did a great job, as well as all the other team members. John Adam Hicks, our editor, he does our daily show. By the way, Rachel Tolson is our social media director. Of course, Sonda Allison, who acted as a liaison between myself and our little company and the speakers and all of you out there. Anyway, let's get into this. This is about a year old. And why am I rolling this? Because most of you have never seen it. I know I've never seen it because we don't go and watch Palki Sharma. Most of us don't go there. We go to Fox News, CNN, whatever. This is offshore. I go here every day. I no longer watch Fox News. I no longer watch CNN. Sorry. It is what it is. All right, so let's roll it and see what happens from there.
There are aliens out there, and we aren't the ones saying this. It's the ISRO chief this time. ISRO stands for Indian Space Research Organization. This is India's national space agency. Its chairman is S. Somanath. He recently went on a podcast. He was asked if alien life exists and if it has visited our planet. And to this, Somanath said, absolutely, no doubt. Those were his words. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just kind of break it down. I'm gonna roll this back just a little bit. Look at the graphics here. It's like it's a great shot of a UFO, and of course we're not sure what that is on the left. That's sort of humorous in my opinion, but they kind of portray the grays in some sort of a with a spacesuit and all this other stuff. So it is what it is, but the idea that this person, this scientist, this guy is part of the Israeli, Space Force, whatever you want to call it, in the ISRO, and he's saying aliens are real. So let's roll that and see what he has to say. Here we go.
He added that while he has no proof, his conscience says so. But there are aliens out there in the universe, and if they are technologically advanced, they have definitely visited us. Now, this, of course, is all conjecture, but coming from the ISRO chief, it is making headlines. However, Somanath is not the only one who believes this. Just last year, a former Pentagon official made similar claims. He went on record. He said that aliens have visited Earth. He also blamed the U.S. government for keeping this a secret. He said that the U.S. stores crashed UFOs and dead aliens.
Okay, I want to stop right there. That is, if you look at the screen, that's David Grush in the center. Commander David Fravor on the right-hand side, looking at the screen to your far right, Commander David Fravor, then David Grush, and I'm not sure who the guy is on the left. Please forgive me. But Commander David Fravor, the former F-18 pilot, who came on the record in 2017 on Tucker Carlson, which, by the way, is the very first rung on the ladder of disclosure. This is why I wrote the book. And we are up to rung number 25. So what they're saying is we've covered non-human biologics. Look, it's ramping up. I mean, you've got to be living under a rock somewhere to not see it. It is ramping up. It's in all media. Now, even though this was a year old, um, I ran with it because it's pertinent to what is happening now. The whole UFO phenomenon is being unpacked, as it were. And again, I did a show on this. Will Trump, on July 8th, the anniversary of Roswell, decide that, this is a good time to tell the people that that we're not alone? And how does that change the Christian church? I think it changes it drastically. I think it ties into ancient biblical prophecy, specifically 1 Timothy chapter 4. The Spirit expressly states that in the latter days, some will depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of demons. So when you have channeled information, I don't care who you are, when you're going into a trance and allowing an entity to come into you and to give you information, that's forbidden. Or as my father, who fought in World War II and came home from Nazi Germany, verboten, he knew some German words, geben Sie euch with the Hand hoch. I'll never forget, he taught me that. I was probably like 5 years old and walking around, God rest his soul. He was 94, passed away from Alzheimer's, and the Lord bless him. He's in a better place. I actually led him to the Lord, but I digress as usual. And today I am using my I digress cup. Isn't that interesting? Okay, and lays down a rabbit hole. Can we cover? Bob, I just don't know. So here we go. U.S. recovers non-human biologics. That is from David Grush. What do you do with this? I've showed this clip at conferences, and maybe I should try to show it here. Hold on, let me see if I can get that. Let's continue here.
An explosive accusation, but it was quashed by the Pentagon this year. Soon after, Harvard researchers came out with a study and they made claims more suited to Hollywood movies. They said that aliens are an advanced species. They hide in a secret base on Earth and live among us without us knowing about it.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. How many reports do I have to have? How many times do I have to say it to you that aliens are walking amongst us? Hybrids are walking amongst us. It's in our film. When Alan Matthews, the very first UFO film in our 10-part DVD set, Alan Matthews has an encounter with a woman, eye shapeshift. She's a hybrid entity, there's no doubt. We haven't had a lot of reports of them, but we get some. Dr. David Jacobs' book, it's in my library, Walking Amongst Us. That's the last book that he penned. Folks, it's happening. When we look at the biblical prophetic narrative, when we walk through it, and we realize that in the latter days, their seed will mingle with the seed of men. Who are they? And why is that even there? Most people skip over it. They don't understand what they're looking at. Why would Jesus warn us it'd be like the days of Noah? For some of you who come here daily, this is kind of old news. Why does LA keep repeating it? First of all, because there's new people that come here every single day. Second of all, because all of us need to hear things 3, 4, 5, 6 times before it gets into our spirit, man. Folks, we are in latter days. There's no doubt about it. If you're not a dispensationalist, I get that. If you're an amillennialist, well, this has been going on. It could last another 200 years. I don't believe we have that much time. I might have date center, but maybe next Wednesday. And of course, I say that tongue in cheek. But at some point in time, we are going to go up. He is going to call us home. And with the advent of AI, can we be, in fact, far from it? So, yes. But are these alien civilizations from elsewhere in the cosmos, or are they interdimensional entities with a nefarious agenda? I had breakfast this morning with Emil Jurek. Emil is featured in our Watchers film, where we took out the implant from Emil, number one. Number two, he comes in on our 10-box DVD set. I interviewed him probably a decade later, and he was an abductee, Karen Wilkinson, Angela Beckman, and of course, Al Matthews. And all 4 of them get together for the first time ever in that film. We did a Zoom thing. And it's visceral because all 4 were taken. All 4 were taken. Sperm is taken from the men, ovum from the women. And the women were impregnated by them. I'm not making this stuff up. Let's continue.
Hypotheses and allegations are plenty, but the big question still remains, do aliens exist? Well, here's what science says: no life beyond Earth has ever been found. There is no evidence of alien life, and aliens have never visited our planet. But just because extraterrestrial life has never been discovered doesn't mean it does not exist. Our galaxy is huge. We've only studied a fraction of it, a very small fraction.
So it's a straw man argument, as I was saying, that, oh, surely there's life elsewhere. There has to be. Really? Enrico Fermi, Fermi's paradox is, if the universe is teeming with life, where the heck is everybody? And he's right. Where is everybody? I mean, what we get are these guys. We get the Greys. We get people being taken, abducted, against their will, by the way, over and over and over again. The mixing of the seed. They come in the third month and they take the baby from the womb. It has to live in an artificial womb, which they've created. That's what I believe the cow's blood is used for. And the pieces that they take from the cattle mutilations. This is the deep end of the pool. A lot of people go, whoa, don't want to know about that. But that's what's happening. When we read in the book of Enoch that the fallen angels sinned against the animal kingdom, what are we looking at here? It's there. What we fail to see, what the modern day church doesn't understand, is that this war is very, very nefarious. It's like, they're playing for keeps, man. They really are. They know their time is short, even though they're not cast down here. They know. They know they were defeated at the cross, number one. That much they know. They were defeated at the cross. So let's circle back. The universe is teeming with life. Where is everybody? Fermi's paradox. Surely the galaxy, we've only explored this much. There's got to be life out there. Yet the Bible tells us that Father God rolls up the heavens like a scroll. Allegory? You tell me. Let's continue.
And so far, things look promising. There is an underwater ocean on Mars. It has raised hopes of life on the planet. There are icy moons in the outer solar system, like Saturn and Jupiter's moons. They could have oceans as well, which could be habitable. These are all recent discoveries, and they're a step forward, but we have barely scratched the surface. And let me tell you why. These discoveries come from our solar system. Let's put this in perspective. Our solar system is one of many. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has more than 3,200 other solar systems, and there are about 2 trillion galaxies. So there are trillions of stars, moons, and planets out there. With so much turf, it is hard to run the math.
Okay, I get that. I mean, I totally get what she's saying, and we hear this repeated over and over and over again. Surely there's life elsewhere. In fact, there's Steven Spielberg's new film coming up, and he uses and it's just brilliant filmmaking. He uses Mother Superior. I talked about this before, as the voice. So the scene in the trailer. I've already covered this before, but you need to watch the trailer and watch it for yourself. I've gone through it scene by scene. So in sort of the very last scene, the little girl, the essence of innocence, as it were, and the buck with the big antlers, right? They're walking side by side. So the laws of nature are suspended. Okay, they are. And I think next to her might be a raccoon or something, or a possum, I don't know, another animal, the little bird sitting on her shoulder. The laws of nature. I feed the birds here every day. I got hummingbird feeders. I digress again. And I'll sit there, and we have 2 feeders, right? And they're fairly large. All right. I'll hang them up, fresh sugar water in them. And then I have these glasses, like safety glasses, because I'm afraid they might, just saying. And I'll stay real motionless about 3 feet away from the hummingbird figures. It's unbelievable. Meow. They'll just come like buzzing right by my head. And sometimes there'll be 6 or 7 of them on the I should get Peggy to film this on the hummingbird feeder. It's unbelievable. But nature's law is still in place. They are afraid of me. We have 4 chickens, Rhode Island's Reds. Okay. I feed them every day. I make sure the water's there. Hey, chick, 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 right to the whole thing. I change the bedding. They're afraid of me. No, I got them a little older. They weren't just chicks. They're afraid of me. So I chase them around. I chase them around the chicken yard and try to pet them. I mean, it's unbelievable. The point I'm trying to make is nature's law is there. The hummingbirds don't land on my shoulder. The chickens are afraid of me. The bird feeder, which I feed every day too, with a variety of different birds, if I go out to the feeder, whoosh, they all leave. Nature's law. Yet, in the Spielberg film, they're suspended. Nature's law is suspended. The little girl's walking with the buck with the big antlers. Next on her shoulder is the little cardinal. Next to her looks like a raccoon. They're walking towards a house which is all lit up. And these aren't normal lights, folks, or something else. And then we hear the voice of Mother Superior. And she says this, which echoes what Palki Sharma is saying. Same exact thing. Surely the universe is so vast, God wouldn't have just made us the only people here. Well, you don't know that. Especially if the universe is holographic. We don't know where we live. We don't. We don't understand it. We don't understand it.
But this is what common logic says. Our universe is 13.8 billion years old, and what happened on the Earth over millions of years could have happened anywhere else.
Stop. How do they know that? They don't know that. They just, and what cracks me up, they just keep adding zeros. We don't know where we are or what this is. You can believe whatever you want to believe. You can believe that it's billions of years old. It may be billions of years old, but we're new. We're new. And I would say we're within 12,000 years of inhabiting this planet because we don't see it. We don't see, look, let's just go back just for safety reasons. Let's go back about 6,000 years. Why does civilization spring up and then people begin to, disperse and civilizations happen and then da-da-da-da? Well, if it's millions of years old, where is everybody? Where are all these ancient civilizations? Why has it only taken 6,000 years to go from an agrarian economy to flying around the planet and the internet and everything else? Only 6,000 years for millions and millions of years old? Seriously? Not buying it. Not buying it. We're new. I think this whole thing's about 10 to 12,000 years old. Let's continue.
So life could exist anywhere. As the saying goes, the universe is a pretty big place. If it's just us, it seems like an awful waste of space.
And I get that. That's from a human perspective. It is an awful waste of space, unless it's holographic, unless we're just here, which explains a lot because these entities that show up, the good guys and the bad guys, the good angels and the bad angels, all right? Both sides can manipulate space, time, matter, energy. Think about when we were watching The Chosen the other night, which is, I hate to say this. I'm going to say it anyway. We watched Chosen every night. That's it. We eat dinner, we sit down, we watch an episode of The Chosen. Even though I've seen them all, I watch them again because I'm watching two things. I'm watching Jesus interact. Okay, Jonathan Rumi does a great job, as well as Elizabeth Talbot and the entire cast of Dallas Jenkins. It's a home run, absolutely a home run. So what are we looking at here? The reason why I watch that is because I'm seeing the Bible come to life. So what we know is, and I should have said this, I was on Fade the Black with Jimmy Church a couple nights ago. And, he kept going, well, the same argument. Well, it's millions of years old and life has to be elsewhere, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's just hold that on the back burner. Now think of this. What is real? What can we hang our hats on? The thread of prophecy between the book of Genesis and the book of Revelation. The prophecies concerning the birth of Messiah start in Genesis 3:15. The seed of a dragon will be at war and enmity with the seed of the woman. The one coming from the seed of the woman, the proto-evangelion, the Messiah, will crush the dragon's head. That's the entire biblical narrative. That we know. And also we know that the incarnation did take place. He did come. He was here. He performed miracles. He rose again from the dead. This is why we have the Shroud of Turin. This is why I call it God's calling card. It's not, how does a 15th century forger know that somehow the camera is going to be invented centuries later and they'll be able to take a picture of my handiwork? Give me a freaking break. Give me a break. So let's go back to Palki Sharma. I'm all over the place today, but that's how we roll here. Okay, here we go.
Possibilities are endless, and earthlings are obsessed with these possibilities. We have made movies, written books, curated memes, and dressed up as aliens.
Let me stop right there. These are the little guys that were found in Peru that Jaime Maussan were saying that this is proof of. This to me is like a puppet. I'm not buying that for a second. And I've already weighed in on the three-figured aliens. So this is what we've got. We do have mummies in Peru with elongated skulls. They have 5 fingers. How do I know that? Because I've been in private museums when I've seen them. So let's say you're going to create a hoax. Let's just walk through it, all right? You got 5 fingers. What happens, because they're mummies, right? So you take the mummy out of the mummy bundle and you cut this finger off here, which is just bone, and the thumb, and now you elongate these 3 fingers. And what do you got? You got the 3-fingered mummy. How would they do anything without an opposable thumb? Not gonna happen. And then you cover it in some sort of a coating, and here it is. Look what we found. And I've heard this over and over and over again. Oh, they're hidden in some cave. Where's the cave? Are you trying to tell me that the Peruvian government doesn't know where the cave is and hasn't gone there themselves? Come on. Okay, let's continue.
School plays. Our pilots say they've seen otherworldly things, and governments have established new departments for aliens. They've held hearings about fake alien mummies.
Right there.
And when things get boring, we get into nomenclature. We've revamped UFOs as UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena. So whether aliens exist or not, at this point, the alien mania is more a cultural obsession than an astrological one. It keeps us hopeful. We continue to gaze at the heavens, looking for 10 feet tall, green, walking, talking beings. Because who knows, maybe someday our fascination will bear fruit. After all, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
So this is number 16 on the rungs of disclosure. This is Representative Nancy Mace. I've talked about this before. I'm going to run the clip. Here we go.
Intelligent extraterrestrials.
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurs. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics? So,
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
and was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to Skiff about.
So it's really important to understand that the clip I just showed with Representative Nancy Mace and David Grush, we have non-human biologics. So the government, and this is number 17, the pushback, Pentagon finds no evidence of alien technology in new UFO report. This is from Arrow. And this to me is nonsense, although he's not telling a lie. He's telling you what he believes and all that he knows. I met a 2-star general a while back in an undisclosed location. And after we got to know each other a little bit, I popped a question. What do you know about UFOs? He said, nothing. So here's a 2-star general, retired, and he knows nothing about UFOs because it's compartmentalized on a need-to-know basis. He didn't need to know, so he wasn't told. Same thing with this guy, in my opinion. He doesn't need to know, so he can stand up there and go, we find no evidence of alien technology, bop, 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 bop. How does that compare with what David Grush just told us? That we have non-human biologics in our possession, that we have in our possession craft, that we are back engineering craft. Folks, it's there. So we've got this push and pull, this pushback from the powers that be. That's it for today. And as Age of Disclosure says, it's Representative Gillibrand who says that there can't be hidden sections of the government which are not accountable to anybody. And that's what we have. That's what we have. I'll leave you with this. Will Donald Trump announce on July 8th, that which is the anniversary of Roswell, by the way, that we are not alone in the universe? How does that change your faith? If you're a pastor, you're wrestling with this, you're not sure what to do, we'll send you this book free. Shoot me an email, la@lemarzulli.net. I will give you a private link to all 10 of our UFO films. Watch them, take notes, get questions. That'll bring you up to speed, ring rungs of disclosure, and we can set up a Zoom chat, all for free. Don't want anything. We're just trying to get the word out because I believe we are on the cusp of what I call the great falling away. That's it. Thanks for coming here. You want to know how to get saved? It's so simple and yet so elusive. Confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead and you will be saved. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming here. Be a subscriber, become a member. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.